Hello, MEnnoNerds. It's Paul Walker here, coming to you right from my secret base in Canada. Today I want to talk to you about something that's quite upsetting to me. So let me start off by saying that this week, Ryan Dewick, I hope I pronounced that correctly, he's a fellow MEnnoNerd, and he released an excellent blog this week, link below. That blog was titled, "I'm Sorry Christians, but you don't get to make that move." And in the blog, he talks about, all these moves people are making to distance themselves from caring about refugees, from caring about the crisis. So here's an example of something that Ryan tackled. Here you see a picture of a gated off community, Europe being represented. And then you see a horse. This is a reference to the famous Trojan Horse, the horse used to infiltrate the walled city of Troy. And you're going to see on this horse a refugee on the front, and on the back you're going to see the image of ISIS. Now, clearly the implication here is by trusting these refugees, by allowing them into our community, we're actually allowing enemies into our community, and we should be afraid. We should be threatened. Should we as Christians buy into that? I like what Ryan says on this. Ryan concludes his blog by saying this, and I'm just going to quote him verbatim. "Please understand that you're on a team that is supposed to play the game by different rules. And please understand that Jesus of Nazareth will be no friend or ally of yours when you attempt to make arguments about how the real or imagined badness of other people means that we have no obligation to them. As followers of this king and as citizens of this kingdom, we don't get to make that move." So that was a really awesome vlog. Ryan has some awesome stuff to say there. So naturally, I shared it on Facebook, and then 23 people shared it off mine. One of those was a friend of mine, a pastor in Medicine Hat, and he shared it on his wall because he thought, it's some good stuff here. So here is the thing that's upsetting. I get a text a couple hours later from my pastor friend in Medicine Hat, and he's like, "Dude, go on my Facebook, check out that link I shared off of you. You wouldn't believe what some people I work with, are saying about it." So I went there and I read it. So the first comment of note that's pretty upsetting is this one anonymous person that commented, "Oh, this author is just a horrible liberal. What a liberal bleed heart, doesn't understand anything." Period. That's what he wrote. I was so just taken aside by this because it kind of fits in perfectly with what Soren Kierkegaard once said. Once you label me, you negate me. Kierkegaard got on a fundamental truth there, is that we use categories like liberalism and conservatism to shield ourselves from Jesus and from reality itself. The next comment was a bit more understandable. The person said, "I can appreciate helping out refugees, but God gave us a mind. You gotta be wise about these things. And wisdom really should lead us not to let these refugees because of their connection to ISIS." My pushback against using kind of a practical determinism, hold on, I know what Jesus says, but we have to be wise, it's to say, isn't Jesus the embodiment of wisdom? But if by what you mean by wisdom is utilitarian practicality, then Jesus isn't that. There is nothing practical about self-sacrificial love. There's nothing practical about going to the cross. There's nothing practical about forgiving 70 times 7. And if we want the God that reinforces our comfort, that isolates us from neighbors and the hurts of the world, well, it's not Jesus.